Hi, my name is Emma Stellmach. I'm a junior at Brownsburg High School in Troupe 2108. I chose to do a theoretical sound design for the show The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime, based on the novel by Mark Haddon and adapted by Simon Stevens.
The story follows a young neurodivergent boy named Christopher Boone and his recent discovery that his neighbor's dog has been brutally murdered. After this discovery, Christopher hyperfixates on the event and is determined to create an investigation and solve the murder mystery. Even with his neighbors, his teacher Siobhan, and his father Ed's disapproval, Christopher continues his investigation and learns that it was in fact his father Ed who had murdered the neighbor's dog. Christopher also learns that his mother, Judy, is actually alive despite what his father has told him, and that his parents had separated due to an affair. Christopher goes on a journey of discovery, mentally, emotionally, and physically, leading to learning about independence, boundaries, and confidence in the face of hardships from external factors. The story takes place through Christopher's perspective, whether that be through Christopher's dialogue and interaction with others, or through narration from Siobhan's dialogue as she reads from what Christopher has written in a journal at school of the events. Seeing these events through Christopher's eyes was a large driving force going into my design process and design concept. Beginning this process, I read and took extensive notes of the characters and plot to get an understanding on the goal of the story being told. Some of the inspiration I found during this initial step was in composer and producer Dan Romer's music in the show Atypical and the documentary Chasing Coral. Romer's work in Atypical inspired me to consider how I wanted to portray emotion and create a connection between an audience and a main character that is neurodivergent. These images show the auditorium I would theoretically be using to bring my design to life. The auditorium comes standard with 5 front fill speakers, 3 rear fill speakers, 2 subwoofers, and a left and right line array system. This performance space can reach up to 1,000 audience members. I knew that in order to fill the space and ensure that all dialogue and natural sounds be heard from any seat, I would want to provide a microphone for each individual actor. In addition to the speakers that come standard in the auditorium, for my design, I wanted to include 14 speakers to the initial speaker plot. As you can see in the speaker plot of my final design, I added 4 speakers behind the back wall of the simple 3-sided cube-shaped set. I would work with the set designer to ensure that the sound would be able to travel through the wall to create an immersive and realistic connection between the actors telling the story on stage and their relationship to the music or effects being played. To create a similar effect for the audience, I evenly distributed the last 10 speakers in the catwalk, with 5 in house right and 5 in house left. These additional speakers not only create an immersive environment for the actors, but also help extend the world to the audience, which helps them sympathize and connect with Christopher's thoughts and emotions throughout his journey. By extending the world with sound design, I'm able to force the audience to begin questioning how they would respond in the situations that Christopher finds himself in, compared to how they see Christopher respond. Here you can see my detailed block diagram. This shows how all my equipment is organized and illustrates my understanding of its connection. This document is extremely important to share with other designers and technicians to communicate the physical aspects of my sound design for a production. Similarly to my block diagram, you can see my rack diagram, patch assignments and programming playback device, as well as my mic schedule. The cast for this play is not extensive, making the documents a bit more simplistic. However, they're still largely important when communicating my design. When designing the cues, I knew I wanted to focus on Christopher's perspective and create music to enhance his experiences as someone who is neurodivergent. Christopher's mind is very math-oriented. I decided to create his theme and other cues with live piano recordings that held strong repetition and pattern. Piano is the main instrument used for my cues, which represents Christopher's inner self. After establishing this with the audience, I then wanted to portray how external factors impact Christopher's character. To accomplish this, I took the piano cues and themes and edited them with digital instruments. For better or for worse, the external factors in Christopher's life, represented by the digital instruments, can become overpowering for Christopher's authentic self, which is represented by the live and unedited piano compositions. This document shows my extensive sound cue list. This theoretical list shows important cues such as Christopher's theme, Christopher's astronaut dream, prime number moments, and maths appendix. Other important compositions listed include short musical synth transitions and moments that I described as Christopher's redlining moments. For purposes of describing these moments for Christopher, I use the word redlining in reference to when the external factors in the world around him become so overwhelming emotionally, mentally, and physically that he's lost ability to relax. In this list, you can also see some practical cues, including pre-recorded dialogue, white noise from a radio, trains approaching and stopping, as well as a phone sound alarm. To make these cues, I utilized an Audix SCX25A microphone to record the live piano, a Novation Launchkey 61 for digital composition and editing, and I edited and mixed in the software Logic Pro. I use Logic Pro synths and effects such as the doppelganger effect to add reverb and repetition in some of my cues. To compile and run this design, if I were to realize my work, I would use QLab. I was also able to utilize SoundSnap for royalty-free effects such as the London subway train cues. These screenshots show some of my Logic Pro workspace for some of the cues I created. First, you can see Christopher's theme. This song is a strong piano composition and includes motifs found in other compositions such as Christopher's astronaut dream. To emphasize that Christopher is naturally affected by the outside world, I primarily used the live piano recording but added an additional layer of reverb. Christopher's astronaut dream is very similar but includes a lot more synth and digital effects to create a clear understanding that this is a dream world separate from the one that Christopher is living in. This cue stands out among the rest and helps bring Christopher's personality to the audience. The Maths Appendix is an important song at the end of the play when Christopher is really coming to his own. He learns his strengths and is confident. The music parallels this by having the piano clear and strong, with the additional synth instruments working to build the main piano theme rather than making it unclear and underneath other layers. In addition to these compositions, I created a variety of prime number moment cues, my own white noise for redlining cues, as well as multiple versions of the finger touch moments and transitions. Personally, one of my favorite things about theater is that you're able to put yourself in other people's shoes through the characters on stage. As a sound designer, I love that I'm able to be a part of that connection and create that emotion. I hope you enjoyed my theoretical sound design for the show The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime.